Hello everyone and welcome to CuteLuks tutorial. I'm going to be taking you on stitches, still on our simplest sewing method. We all know that stitches has been one serious issue with some people. We don't know how to manage our stitches both with our needle and on the sewing machine. So in this video I'm going to be making it very easy for you on how to use your needle to make your stitches. Before I continue, I'm going to explain what stitches is. Stitches are passage of thread lines to make seam on our clothes to close up the clothes. That's call it a closure, and then have our garments ready, be on your sewing machine or with your hand, which is our needle. So here I have on the table my material, and I'm going to show you guys how to manage your seam, your stitches. While we continue, we have different types of stitches. We have two types of stitches. We have our temporary and we have our permanent stitches. So our temporary stitches are those stitches we use to, at most times, to hold down our stitch before using the permanent stitch to have a perfect finishing. And we have different types of temporary stitches. We have our even stitch, we have our tacking, we have our long and round stitch, we also have a diagonal stitch. But here I'm going to be showing you how to use your even and uneven stitch, that's on your temporary stitch, and also show you how to use your tacking, because we all know that tacking at most times we use it to hold down our materials before matching it down with the temporary stitch. So I have my needle here and I have my thread. So I'm going to show you how to pass your thread to make your temporary stitch. It's going to be a single thread like this. I'll pick it here and then I'll pull this out. So you can see I have a white material here and I'm working with the black, though it's meant to be a uniform color, but I would like you to see what I'm doing. So that's why I use these two neutral colors, so that you'll be able to see them clearly while I work. So I won't be knotting this area like we always have, and then I'll pull this out a little. You can see I pulled it. Don't make this go up too much so it doesn't pull out while you're stitching. So I'm going to be making an uneven stitch to make it easy for you, so you will see what I'm doing. I'm going to roll this out. This is my 1 inch here. I'm going to take 1 inch all the way down, and then I'll roll it out. And so I have my line out, so it will give me, to guide me while I'm working. So I have my thread ready here. You can see they're not equal, and that's when I'm going to come down here and knot this area so it doesn't run out. You can leave it open and you can also knot it. So I'm going to leave it that way, and then I'll come from the back side. I'll take it. You can see this place has pulled out, and then I'll stop, because at the end I'm still going to lose it. And then I'm going to take my thread and stitch. This is what I call even stitch. It's going to this way, can you see? And then I'll come here again, so they both have the same inch, and then I'll take it out carefully. You can see it's single. Can you see? I'll do the same here as well. When you say something is even, it's meant to be equal. So you see, I'm going to run it again. And so I have 3 lines of them, almost the same. So you see, then when you talk about uneven stitch, I have the small one coming this way, and then I'll go as far as doing this. Can you see the size has changed? At most times we have all this kind of uneven stitch on our bed sheets to make designs with our decorative stitch, and then I'll come here and take a tiny one and come out again. And then take the long one again. So mind you, this is not the stitch. Most times the thread we use for decoration. We have our decorative stitch. Can you see? So this is our even stitch and this is our uneven stitch. I'm still going to take another one so you see it clearly. So instead of you looking for a sewing machine to start running gathers to hold down the material before sewing it, you can go ahead and use your hand needle and then and run a temporary stitch, which is, can you see? So as it is now, I'm just going to, since I've held this back, that's why you don't need to knot here, I just have to hold it a little. So I've taken it off. Once you're done with your permanent stitch on it, like you run on your machine, once you're done running on this, you carefully come here and pull this out. Can you see? That's where it's temporary. See, it's out. Very simple. So that's a very easy way of making your temporary stitch. So I'm going to, instead of the same temporary stitch, explain to you how to make a diagonal stitch. I'll come here as well. I'll take it. We use it as well to hold down our clothes, especially the hemming area of our clothes, be the trouser or at the bottom side of our skirts, before using our machine to hold down. That's if we want to hold it down with the machine or the hemming gum. So I'm going to go this way and I'll come out this way. Careful so this one under doesn't pull out. And you see the way it is. And so I'll take it from up here as well. I'll take my hand down. You see. And then I'll come up here again. I'll bend my hand, slant it out of the line. As I'll keep running it this way. So don't forget, it's not meant to be open this way. Your material is made that if you have a folded material, let me make it folded so you understand. You can see it's showing from the under, folded the material. So I'm going to go back here and hold it down. You can see I'm slanting it. Oh, all right. So you can see I already have my diagonal stitch, and so I'm going to pull this out. Once I'm done with my permanent stitch, you see it to go off, because it's called a temporary stitch. It's not meant to stay permanent on the material. So still on our temporary stitch, I'm going to show you how to do your tacking. We have two types of tacking, and under the same type of tacking we'll also use the word hemming. We have two types of hemming as well as our tacking. We have our fine hemming and we have the slip hemming. This is it. I have my material folded like the bottom of my trouser, and I need to hem it down. I don't want to run a machine on it because I don't have a hemming gum, and I need to quickly go out. And then I have my needle. Why won't I be able to run my hemming? And then I'll come here and knot here. I will knot here carefully. This time I'm holding it down to hem. So when I have the chance, I'll be able to go to the tailor and fix it. So under the hemming, the one at most times that doesn't stay too long on your clothes is our slip hemming. So we keep that under the temporary stitch, whereby we can lose it anytime and then give it to a tailor to put our hemming gum or run it to the sewing machine. So I'm going to take it carefully. This is my slip hemming. For it not to go off, I'll hold it down. Even though I'm hemming, it's part of tacking, and then I'll go this way carefully so it doesn't show outside. Because though you're supposed to use a matching thread, and so I'll take it from under Can you see? Then I'll come here as well again, pick it a little from under, from the material outside, carefully pick it, and then you can see it's slipping. That's why it's called a slip hemming. And then I'll pick here again, carefully. You see it's holding it down. The bottom side of your clothes is not going anywhere, and then you come here as well. And then pick again. Can you see it's holding down the bottom side of this material if it were your trouser or your skirt? And then I'll take again. So you see it's down. So once the tailor wants to work on it, if it were your matching thread, you won't be observing this. It's because of it's not a matching thread, so it will be so obvious. So once the tailor wants to work on this, you can leave this for some time, yes, but with time you see it will start pulling because it's not firm, it's slippery. So once the tailor wants to work on it, all they have to do is cut this off. When you find this, you just have to cut that edge off. So you see it's out, and you see. So that's it on temporary stitch. And then I'll go to permanent stitch. Like I said, we have two types of stitches. Permanent stitches are the stitches we use to hold on our materials permanently. That's to run a seam on our material, to close our material permanently, except we want to lose it. But for us to just have it to ourselves, then there's no need to lose it. That makes it a permanent stitch. So for a permanent stitch, I'm going to be having this. You can see I've brought them back equal, the same length, and this time I'm going to be knotting this area, because even if you're sewing with your machine, we always knot the beginning of our stitch and then the end part of our stitch. So you see, and then I'll take this, and then under our permanent stitch, we have our running stitch, we have our back stitch, and then we have our hemming. Like I said, that's where we have our fine hemming. In that one, we use it to hold the bottom side of our clothes, be the trouser, the sleeve of your clothes, and then the bottom of your skirt as well. We can use our fine hemming to hold that down. So now I'm going to be running, I'm going to be stitching down here a permanent stitch called a running stitch. So this is how it goes. I'm going to start from here. Take it closely. You can see. You can use this method to make a buba. You can actually still use this method if you're a patient type to make a trouser or a skirt for yourself if you don't have a sewing machine and you can actually cut by yourself. You can use it to make your boo-boo, like we have our butterfly clothes. All you need to do is chalk it very well, sit down patiently, and then run with your running stitch. You can see it's looking very firm on it. You can see it's very firm and tight, so it doesn't lose. So you see, I have my running stitch. It's just like where you use the sewing machine. Can you see? It's tight and looking relaxed. And so I'm going to be running even with the running stitch. So I'm going to be doing the back stitch now. But before that, just like we have our sewing machine, I'm going to knot here like this. I can knot it one or twice so it doesn't move. Be careful around this area so your thread doesn't knot. So I'm going to take this carefully. So you can see I've knotted down just like our sewing machine. And so I'm going to cut this out. Then I'll knot it again because it's a permanent stitch. I'm going to start from here, from the back as well, to start doing the back and front stitch. You might have seen this stitch somewhere, but you don't know what it's called. It's called back and front. We'll do this. If you notice the running stitch, I keep coming to the front side, but in this one, instead of going to the front like I did with this, I'm going to come to the back. And I'm going to bring out my needle. So you see, go to the back again and run my stitch carefully. So you see, as I keep moving it, you can make your stitch bigger than mine, but I like having it tied just like the sewing machine, so it looks very neat. You see, can you see the difference behind? So you see there are two different kind of stitches, the back stitch and this is a running stitch. Both are under permanent stitch, they're not going anywhere, looking very tight like your sewing machine. So you see, so I'm going to knot this down so it doesn't move, because even if you use your sewing machine and you don't knot it down, at some point it might lose. So I'm going to tack this down. You can double yours like I said. And then for the hemming parts under our permanent stitch, we have our fine hemming. No, we actually have our slip hemming. You can use that to tack, but I'm going to be using the fine hemming here. You can see my material is very soft, so I'm going to be very careful. Still, it's going to show behind because this is a black thread and this is a white material. So I'm going to pick this carefully. I'll pinch it out here. You can see I knot this. It's meant to go under, and then I'll pinch here carefully and hold down. I'll move again. I'll pinch carefully this way, and then I'll hold it down. Can you see? And then I hold down again. You have to be careful so it doesn't show at the back of your clothes. But I don't have choice because this is a black thread, so it's likely to show. You can take your fine hemming this way to hold down. You can see it's tight, and you can also take your fine hemming this way. Let me knot this so you see how it's done. You can take it that way, and you can also take it this way. I'll knot this again. And then I'll come to the bottom side, which is like after folding the bottom side of your trouser. Watch this. You can see it straight. I'm going to fold this inside, and then I'll take the thread. I'll pick this up, and then I'm going to pass in between this one, in between the folding of this, in between. Can you see? I won't go too far, and then I'll come out of here holding that down. I'll pick it up carefully again. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to tie this back, knot this back again. Don't worry if your thread cuts, just knot it back again carefully and then continue. take it from the under and then bring it out here carefully. Just watch this carefully. It can't be perfect at once, but just be careful, because this type of hemming, your thread is not supposed to show at the underside, just inside of the cloth. And then you move inside and out. You pick it carefully, go inside of it again and out. That is why it's called a fine hemming. It's meant to be just tiny. Can you see I've locked it inside? Then I'll fold the bottom side carefully again. I'll pick it from here, move into side of this, I'll come out of here again and lock that one inside. Can you see? And then I'll pick it another one and move inside of here again and out. So that's how you keep going till you're done hemming your cloth. So it's called a fine hemming because it's meant to stay inside and your cloth is locked. Can you see? It's not going anywhere. Just tighten it real good and it's down. Then you can go to wherever you want to. Like I said, it's not meant to show out here. Can you see? So if you're using a matching thread, it's not meant to show outside here, but because mine is black, you can see it's showing a little. So whenever you have issues with your hemming, maybe the stitch on your clothes goes out after being made by your tailor and then your hemming allowance starts running out, take your needle and your thread and then use your fine hemming to hold down the hemming part of your trouser or your skirts. Very easy to do. Just pass it into this and that's it. So I'm going to knot it here. Just let's say this is the end side of this stitch and then you knot it to go inside and then it's out. And you see we are done and it's going nowhere, looking relaxed and neat at the outer part, unlike these other ones that you get to see their stitches outside. So guys, thank you for joining me in today's tutorial on stitches, and I'm glad I'm able to teach you guys on different types of stitches and how to manage your stitches on your material, both on your sewing machine and on your material. Whenever you don't have your sewing machine, you can use your hand needle to make your stitches, be your temporary stitch or your permanent stitch. Anyone you have at the moment that you need to run, you quickly use your needle and use this method to make your stitches on your clothes. Like we have our tutorial at hand, the simplest method for sewing. This is just very easy for you to run your stitches. So I'm going to be seeing you in our next tutorial. Join us. Don't forget to like the video, hit the notification bell, turn on your notification bell, and then subscribe. Go to the comment box and drop your comment. I'll be there to attend to you, and then I'll see you in my next video. Okay guys.